What's going on, guys? Jacob Ober here, coming to you with my instant reactions to Packers versus Panthers. The Packers take this one on Saturday Night Football, 24-16 over the Panthers, who fall to 4-10. Packers improved to 11-3. They are just 2 wins away from the number one seed in the NFC, clinching the number one seed in the NFC, I should say. If the Saints do lose tomorrow to the Chiefs, though, the Packers will only need one more win in their next 2 games versus the Titans and at the Bears to clinch that number one seed. But as for the game tonight, overall, the first half was great. They scored 21 points. They scored on their first 3 possessions of the game. But after that, it kind of went downhill. I mean, there wasn't a lot to really um, write home about in the second half for the offense, especially. The defense, they kind of did their bend, don't break kind of thing. The Panthers had some drives into Green Bay territory. Packers were able to hold them to field goals. And they even had that forced fumble in the first half thanks to Chris Barnes at the 1 yard line. That was a huge play in the game looking back on it. But overall, the Packers, they just didn't really look that good after the first 3 drives of the game. I mean, it was kind of concerning to watch. The Packers certainly are one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFL right now. You know, it's just like these games. Sometimes they'll just have a stinker. They'll just have a bad game, like that you just can't explain. Like the Panthers defense coming into this game, they're like bottom 5 in the league. They're one of the worst defenses in the league. Their pass rush isn't very good. Their secondary isn't very good, and yet Aaron Rodgers was sacked 5 times tonight. And for some reason, there just never seemed to be much open downfield for the Green Bay. In the middle of the field was locked up. Devontae Adams didn't really get that much usage. On the bright side, Aaron Jones did have 145 yards and a touchdown, and he got a huge run in the first half, a 47-yarder that contributed to a lot of that. But really, I mean, this was just such a strange game because, coming into the game, you'd think on paper, the Packers are just so much better than the Panthers when the Packers have the ball. I mean, you'd think that they would score drop a 40 bomb on them in this game, and they looked like they might have been on their way to that in the first half, and then all of a sudden, the Panthers came out in the second half and held us to 3 points, and it's like, oh, what the heck? How did that happen? I mean, then the Panthers kept getting to Aaron Rodgers, getting pressure on him. This is one of the best offensive lines in the league for sure. The Packers have only given up 14 sacks coming into this game. They give up 5 today. It's such a weird thing. I mean, and that's why I honestly think I can chalk it up to mainly just an aberration, I would say. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into this game, or at least the second half. But still, it's just kind of concerning because, every offense is going to have some slumps and some times where they just don't execute very well. But I'm just so worried that something like this is going to happen in the playoffs against a good team. And, that's why getting that home field advantage is just so important, because the Packers at home in January, especially with, the other threats in the NFC, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Los Angeles, those are all warm weather teams. So you come to Green Bay and Lambeau Field in January when it's 15 degrees out, the Packers are certainly going to have an advantage in that regard. So that's why it's just so important to get those games at Lambeau Field and finally get, an NFC championship or something at Lambeau Field, because you're going to want those teams to be at a disadvantage. I would say that the chances of the other team not executing properly versus us executing properly in that cold at Lambeau Field is going to heavily favor us. But, it is what it is. Hopefully the Packers can get a dub the next 2 weeks and finish at 13-3, and then we don't even have to worry about the Saints losing. Of course, it would help a lot if the Saints lose tomorrow for sure. They're going to have Drew Brees back, but overall, this game today, not really a lot to write home about. We got the win, though, and that's really all that matters. A lot of people might complain and stuff. They might say, things like, man, this team can't do it when it counts or something, but it's like, I think this game is mostly an aberration. There's certainly concerns I have, and I really hope that this team that we saw in the second half today doesn't show up in the postseason. But it is what it is. Hopefully the Packers can get a dub in the next 2 weeks and secure that number one seed and give us that advantage going forward. But anyways, guys, so that's all I really have to say in this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, EberSports41512, and on Instagram, Jacob_Ober, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Pack, go.